A 5-day stopover in Hong Kong. We're stopping at the YMCA on Salisbury Road. A well-appointed room, as you can see, with everything that we would need. And we get the same view as you get from the peninsula next door for a fraction of the price. The famous Star ferries take you cheaply between Kowloon, where we're staying, and Hong Kong Island, and here deckhands in traditional sailor suits help to berth the ferries. The mid-level escalators help take some of the pain out of trudging up to parts of Hong Kong where various shopping opportunities present themselves. Golden Bauhinia Square outside the Hong Kong Convention Centre. The Golden Bauhinia, Hong Kong's official flower, commemorates the handover of Hong Kong to China in 1997. Through the typical Hong Kong murk, we can see the YMCA behind the Art Centre on Kowloon. On the far side of the island, Stanley Harbour. This small town, now mainly famous for Stanley Market, a mecca for all tourists. Back to Kowloon for the evening, and the Avenue of the Stars, and dinner in a restaurant with an unusual live table decoration. Morning on Canton Road, one of Hong Kong's arteries of consumerism. Amazingly though, nearby is Kowloon Park, a very large park built in the 1970s on the site of an old British Army barracks. And we exit onto Nathan Road, another of Hong Kong's arteries of commerce. A short subway ride away is the Wong Tai Sin Temple. This is one of the most important and famous Taoist temples in Hong Kong, and is apparently famous for getting your prayers answered. This is a 9-dragon wall, and the temple has all these stalls where, amongst other things, you can have your fortune told in a variety of languages. Another short subway ride brings us to the Qilin Nunnery. This is a Buddhist institution, and the present building was constructed in 1990. It's in the style of the Tang dynasty, made entirely of wood with no nails or screws. And immediately across the road is Diamond Hill Park. And here there is a traditional Chinese tea house. We take a day trip into the New Territories, and our first stop is the Yuan Yuan Institute, a collection of temples dedicated to the three main Chinese religions, Confucianism, Buddhism and Taoism, including a replica of the Temple of Heaven from Beijing. Next stop is Fanling Walled Village. These walled villages date back centuries and are the ancestral homes of a particular clan, in this case the Pang clan. Under laws made when the British took the New Territories, the clans still have a lot of rights of self-government within the walled villages. Right up on the border now with mainland China. You can see part of Shenzhen across Starling Inlet. On the way back, a stop to see a traditional floating Chinese fish farming village. Under threat now from encroaching property development. Late afternoon, and we're on Hong Kong Island on the Peak Tram, a very steep ride to Victoria Peak. Even in the typical Hong Kong murk, this is still quite a view. Another morning, and it's Aberdeen Harbour on the southwest facing coast of Hong Kong Island. A traditional caged bird market, still very popular with the Chinese. Aberdeen is still a fishing harbour, but its main importance now is the jumping off point to visit the floating restaurants, of which Jumbo is the biggest and the most famous. Nearby is Ocean Park, Hong Kong's very own theme park, with some rather strange entertainers. The reason for coming here, though, is that Ocean Park is home to some giant pandas. An is fast asleep like they usually are, and Jar Jar's only barely awake. But here's Lele, wide awake and stuffing his face with bamboo leaves. You hardly ever get to see a giant panda this wide awake. They spend most of their lives sleeping, at least when they're not eating. So, make the most of it. Every night at 8 o'clock, Victoria Harbour is treated to a spectacular light and laser show. We're watching from the Kowloon side, which seems to be the best grandstand. Most of the lights are on the island.